arm muscle to hold them up for a proper thumbnail. It's okay. Hi friends, I hope your week has been going well so far. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys all the books that I read in the month of June. So the fun thing about this month is actually majority of my books, if I like all but one, are physical and they're all like here in front of me. I'm like trying to film this a little bit early so that I don't like go over my due dates for these books so that I can hold them up and editing is just going to be easier. But yeah, I completed 3 books in total, and I also read 2 plays for my philosophy class, and then I have a couple other books that I want to talk about, like just to discuss, you know, that's what wrap-ups are for. So yeah, jumping straight into it, the first book that I read is The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X. Arpan. This quickly became one of my favorite books of the entire year. I mentioned this briefly in my mid-year freakout book tag, so if you guys want to see that, I will leave a link to it down below. It was the video that was uploaded last week. But yeah, this book was just so beautifully written. I loved everything about it. We follow a girl named Lei whose mother commits suicide, and in an attempt to kind of understand her mother and why she did what she did, Lei comes to this conclusion that her mother is a bird because she starts seeing this beautiful red bird who I'm picturing as a crane, I think because of the cover, and this bird tells Lei that she has to remember, she has to go back and remember things. So Lei ends up getting this box from her maternal grandparents whom she has never met before, and she goes on this journey back to Taiwan, which is her mother's home country, and just immerses herself in the culture and the stories that she has grown up without, and it's just such an amazing story. I loved the writing style so much, but I also feel like the fact that it was set in Taiwan, which is where I'm from, and kind of being able to live the life through Lei's eyes was just, it was so great because I can't go back to Taiwan every single summer, but I can read books that talk about the amazing things that are in Taiwan. And I know that the book only focuses on Taipei, but like that alone was enough to give me so much nostalgia, and it was just so great. So yeah, I really loved this. I highly recommend you guys pick this up. It's just such a beautiful story, and the way that it discusses topics like depression, suicide, and grief and family, it's just so beautiful. Like the writing is so beautiful, I don't understand. It's pretty obvious I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The only I didn't really have a downside, but I guess it didn't make me cry or anything, so I didn't feel like it got the 5 stars, but I did round it up to 5 on Goodreads, so like it's like a 4.5 to 5 star. It's just amazing, so I highly recommend this one. The next book that I completed is Starfish by Akemi Dawn Bowman. This was another one of those beautifully written books that just kind of like blew my mind away. I also gave this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. This was also super amazing. This one was just full of feels. I don't know if that's like the right way to describe it, but I talked about this again in my mid-year freakout tag, but there were so many parts in this book where I just felt my heart kind of get sucker punched, and a lot of them were like through her drawings. Like our main character Kiko, she has always wanted recognition from her mother to kind of know her worth, and the story kind of follows her learning that only she has to determine her own self-worth. And it's just the way that the author goes about that process is beautiful, and at the end of certain chapters you get a little like excerpt of what Kiko draws, and it's just so beautiful and painful. Like it's crazy. Like I don't know if I can find one for you guys. Like one of them is I draw the sun teaching the moon how to shine, and it's simple phrases like this that just kind of got me in the feels really hard. So I don't even know what to say because this book was just so amazing. Again, with the beautiful writing style and the wonderful like character development and growth, and just being able to connect with these people so much. Like I feel like reading this one right after reading The Astonishing Color of After, I was just kind of in a daze for so long because I was just overwhelmed with all this beautiful imagery and this desire to like want to create things, and it's just such, both of these books are so inspirational and so beautifully written. I highly recommend both of them. And yeah, like I also really love the quote on the back cover. It says, "I draw a very small fish swimming in the ocean and realizing it's filled with planets and stars." Like the imagery, guys, it's so beautiful. The next book that I completed, I didn't like complete it in full, but I did read 2 plays out of it for my philosophy class, which is going to be over super soon, and I'm so happy. But that is No Exit and 3 other plays. I ended up reading for the class, we we read No Exit and The Fly, so only the first 2 plays in the book, but I ended up giving this a 3 out of 5 stars. It was just enjoyable. I feel like after taking a creative writing class last semester, I have definitely a different appreciation for plays, and reading these two, like, I see like the fun little things, like the little drops of irony or like the writing style, and it was just really fun. I don't appreciate having to write like essays and exams and stuff off of the book, but I appreciate the book for itself, and I don't know, but maybe I'll go ahead and finish the other 2 plays. I don't want to know what they're about. Actually, it might say something back. So the other 2 plays, Dirty Hands is about a young intellectual torn between theory and praxis, and The Respectful Prostitute is a scathing attack on American realism. So that actually sounds pretty cool, so maybe I'll pick this up sometime when I'm looking for a lighter read. I mean, they basically constitute as full books, but yeah, this is another one that I read. And the last kind of complete book that I finished this month is Onyx and Ivory by Mindy Arnott. I give this a 3.5 out of 5 stars, rounded up to a 4 on Goodreads. This was just kind of what I was looking for. I wanted to read a fantasy book after reading those 2 contemporaries, and my mind was kind of like loopy and crazy. So I picked up this one because I've been eyeballing it for a really long time, and I'm really glad that I did read it. The story follows Kate, whose father used to be the like royal horse trainer, but then one day he decided to assassinate the king, and he was beheaded, and Kate was sent out into exile. So she now works as a relay racer, someone who transports messages between the cities, and one day she stumbles across the prince who used to be her childhood best friend, and he and his caravan have recently been attacked by drakes, who are these dragon figures. And the kind of scary thing about this, I guess, is that drakes normally only appear in the nighttime, but the prince claims that he was attacked during the day. So there's this whole slew of events that kind of go off of this little encounter. Kate ends up going with the prince back to the city to see if they can solve the mystery behind her father's attempted assassination, along with figuring out how to stop these drakes from killing everything, since they can now attack in the daylight. So, okay, I don't know how to talk about this book because it's really something that you have to read. I honestly think I butchered that synopsis so badly, so please check Goodreads and don't take my word for it. But the one thing that I did appreciate was how fun this book was. I honestly was engaged throughout the story. I loved the characters. I really liked the world. I wish that we could have gotten more drakes or dragons, I guess, in the story, more descriptions of them. We only kind of get them when they show up to attack, and then they're just like rumors of drakes attacking this far village and this one and all of that. I wish that we can get more of that, but this is a duology. I believe Goodreads says that there is a second book in the works, but there's no publication date for it yet, so hopefully we get more of drakes in the future books. I kind of talk a little bit more about my thoughts. I have a full Goodreads review for it, so I'll link that down below. Basically, I really liked this. It was a lot of fun to read. I appreciated the funny banter between the characters. I really liked how each character was able to grow individually, and how they also supported each other in growing, so that it wasn't just kind of like, I don't know, it didn't give me very typical character growth vibes, if that makes sense. Yeah, I probably am butchering this, but it was really cool. I have not read anything else by Mindy Arnott, so I'm definitely intrigued to see what else she has to write, but I really liked this. I really liked the cover as well, and the whole symbolism between black and white in this book was just, it speaks to my heart. Alright, so I have 2 more books to talk about. I ended up DNFing The Queens of Innislea by Tessa Gratton. I read about 100 pages of this, and I had to put it down. I originally picked this up as my fantasy kick, but I soon realized that this one just felt really dense, and I couldn't get through the book for some reason. If any of you guys have read this book, I would love to know your thoughts in the comments, because I don't know if it's just I'm not in the mood for it right now, or are other people finding the same struggle. The book is about 500, almost 600 pages long, and I read about 100 pages and nothing quite has happened. I understand that fantasies tend to be slow building, it takes a lot of time for the world to kind of develop and for the characters to kind of find their place and for things to start happening. But I felt like for this one, the first 100 pages were just so repetitive. It was just about the 3 sisters, 2 against 1, trying to figure out who's gonna get the throne and hating each other, and it was just a lot of negative stuff. I don't know. I just wasn't a huge fan of it within the first 100 pages, and it was just kind of putting me into a slump. And as I've mentioned before, I've just been so busy in June that I didn't really want to fall into a reading slump, so I ended up DNFing this. But please let me know your thoughts if you have read it, if you think I should pick it up again, and yeah. The last book that I want to talk about is one that I'm currently reading, and I really hope I can finish by the end of the month, and that is Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the Infernal Devices trilogy. I am rereading this on audiobook, so I'm currently making my way through. Honestly, I still have a lot of hours left to go, but I'm kind of hoping that I can finish it by the end of June. If not, I'll finish it in the beginning of July. But I still want to briefly talk about it because this is a reread, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love it as much as I did the first time. Listening to it on audiobook is definitely a different experience, I have to say that, and I'm really enjoying the narrator so far, so everything has been going really well. I just love kind of being reintroduced to the characters and going back into the world. It's definitely making me more, I guess, intrigued in wanting to read the Dark Artifices trilogy. I've talked about not wanting to read the Mortal Instruments, but maybe I'll read Dark Artifices. I don't know, I haven't fully decided yet. Let me know your thoughts also down below, that'd be really helpful. But yeah, Clockwork Angel, I'm about like 3 hours through, so I'm not that far. I think I have 10 hours left, so still got a long way to go, but I'm really enjoying it. I just never realized how much I missed these characters until I finally sat down and got the audiobook and started listening to it. It was just so many memories, and it's just been really fun, so I've been really enjoying that. So those are all the books that I have read in the month of June. Please let me know in the comments what books you read, which ones were your favorite. I definitely read a lot of really good books to the point where I'm kind of at a loss of what to read next. Yeah, I don't even know, but it's definitely a lot slower than I wanted it to be, but I feel like I'm trying to change my mentality with that and focus on the fact that I did read very little in terms of numbers, but all the books that I read were really good, so I'm glad for that. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will talk to you guys soon with another video. Bye!
Hashtag cookie jar.